podcast for escaping life's monotony, inspiring self-love, and discovering the constant beauty of this ever-changing world.
On this week's episode, Allie and Regan share their highs and lows for the week, the things they're passionate about, and they share an article about a man who has walked over 8,000 miles in the past 6 years. Welcome to the Wanderlusting Wives podcast. We are your navigators, Allison
and Regan. And today's Wildcard Wednesday. It took me a second there. I was like, okay, there's some alliteration here with the WW. Is it Wanderlusting Wives or Wildcard Wednesday? Confirming that it is Wildcard Wednesday, everybody. So thanks for tuning in. We're excited to see where our conversation today takes us. But as always, before we get into our conversation, just a quick little plug for our website, www.wanderlustingwives.com, where you can find more information about us and some information about our travels, quick and easy links to all of our episodes. Go ahead and catch up on everything that we have to offer. Season 1 was very much focused on travel destinations, and there's a lot of really great information if you're looking to book a trip. Definitely check that out. And Season 2, we have a little mix of everything. We've got some travel stories. We've got some travel destination tips. We've got, of course, our Wildcard Wednesday conversation. So go ahead and check that out. Allie, I know that we always give our social media plugs, but can you give it to us one more time?
Yeah, because people seem to still not be following us, so I'm wondering what they're doing, but it's fine. We'll just remind you once again. I feel like I'm a teacher, they have to repeat the directions multiple times before the students finally catch on, so it's fine. I'll keep giving you the directions. But Instagram is at Wanderlusting Wives. Facebook is Wanderlusting Wives Podcast. Twitter at Wanderlust Wives. And then our email is wanderlustingwives@gmail.com. We'd love to hear some of your travel stories, your thoughts on our episodes. And speaking of thoughts on our episodes, you can always leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. I noticed some people have probably shared our podcast with friends because our Spotify followers has increased since our last couple of episodes. So thanks to all of you for sharing our podcast with your friends. Continue to do that because we don't want to keep our podcast a secret like we mentioned before. Share the wealth, do your friends a favor, and tell them about the Wanderlusting Wives podcast.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. If you have someone's birthday coming up or thinking ahead to the holidays, anything like that, a very cheap, no financial obligation gift, share our podcast with them. That's a gift in and of itself.
And it's a gift that keeps on giving too, every week.
Every single week. How generous. That's such a good gift. Wow. Okay. Well, you heard it here, folks. Go and give people a good gift this June or July or, you know your months. I don't have to say all of them. All right. Well, we're going to get started with our conversation here today, and we're going to get going with our escape segment. The last escape segment, I'm not going to lie, I went back and I listened to it and I just was chuckling to myself. If you didn't hear us talk about how we were going to escape an island, deserted on an island, it's rough. It's really quite rough and a little embarrassing. So go back and listen to that if you have not had a chance to do so yet. But getting right into today's conversation, let's see what we should be talking about. The wheel is spinning and the wheel has spoken. All right. Today's topic is passions. What is passion? What are some of your passions? And how do you find your passions? This feels very deep. Yes. Does that feel deep to you?
Yeah, I'm it's only 1 p.m. I'm not sure if I'm ready to get this deep yet.
Yeah, right?
I just had lunch. I'm in food coma.
Oh, speaking of lunch, thank you for reminding me. I should definitely eat lunch today.
Yeah, that would be good.
Speaking of lunch, though, one of my passions is food, for sure. So I'm not into cooking necessarily. Nolan is the cook, I would say, in our family. He is able to just kind of put flavors together and make them taste amazing. But I'm really passionate about eating food. I'm I think at this point I'd consider myself a foodie, I guess. I love to just try foods and kind of dissect what the flavors are and how they're working together to create something. And like I've also gotten into appreciating like the presentation of food too and everything. And like I used to love watching Iron Chef as a kid and everything. Like Chopped is still one of my favorite shows. Like it's just I love food. Food just is comforting, food is nourishing, and food can really be an event. It can be a source of conversation. You can connect with other people through food. It's something that's really easy to talk to other people about. And food is so different depending on who you're talking to. It's just like I honestly do think you can tell a lot about someone by how they talk about food. Is that weird to say?
No, I think that's pretty spot on. You know me and my food, not super adventurous. That's kind of how my personality is either. I kind of like to play things a little more safe, and that's how I am with food. Like, if it looks kind of weird, probably not going to put it in my mouth, but
Hey, you did
I've
try cow
gotten
tongue.
yes, that is true, and that did look exactly like a tongue, so I guess that kind of is contradicting. But I've gotten better. Regan can vouch for me. I've gotten much better with eating since we were kids. I'm still kind of like a child when it comes to eating, but improvement, baby steps.
Totally. You get the most improved award. Like,
Oh, thank
honestly,
you.
the things you try, and I'm like, wow, I don't believe you, but okay. Yeah, yeah. Food is definitely a passion of mine, but it took a while to get there. I didn't grow up like knowing that food was a passion or anything like that. The food was kind of just a means to an end of just like being nourished. And
Mhm.
now food is really like an indulgence every single time I eat food. So it was an evolving passion, one that I wasn't really seeking. And passion definitely is passion's weird because I feel like everybody is being encouraged to find their passion. If they don't have a passion or aren't passionate about things, that something's wrong with them. When in reality, passion is kind of like, I don't know, it's a little bit of a myth because you can't force something. It's just going to kind of inherently be who you are. So I think we kind of talk about passion in a weird way in our society sometimes. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I completely agree. I'm like trying to think of my passions. Of course, traveling, because this is a whole podcast about
Mm-hmm.
traveling, and obviously we wouldn't be, sharing a podcast if we weren't passionate about it. So I think the other thing outside of stating the obvious of travel is teaching. I'm really, really passionate about teaching and I guess education in general. I think so many teachers nowadays lack that passion. And I mean, rightfully so. The education system is kind of failing us as teachers. So it's hard to find that passion. But I think maybe this is just me being somewhat naive and only like 3 years into my teaching career. I still have that fire and passion to want to be the best teacher I possibly can be each and every day. And yes, there's a lot of stuff that needs to change in our education system in the US, but just the students they just spark this fire inside of me. Like a student today even sent me a message and was like, "Mrs. Entries, I can't wait to see you in class." Like those are the things
Aw.
that just get me like, yes, like so fired up. And it's the last week of school. Kids are checking out, but the fact that this kid is still like so excited to show up to class and see me is just such like a wonderful feeling no matter how hard this job is. Like these students are the reason I come to work every day. And they're probably, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be as passionate about this job. Like, I love to learn and I love sharing my excitement for education and for learning with my students. But really, they are kind of the backbone that keeps me going each and every day because, like I said, just like the little things like, oh, thank you for helping me figure out how to put a background on my Zoom or something, or saying they can't wait to see me in class. Like that is what ignites my passion. It's letting me know like, hey, I am right where I need to be in these students' lives. And I hope that never changes. I hope I can always find the passion in education, no matter how hard things get. Check back with me in a couple years, but that is where I'm at currently in my teaching career. I'm really passionate about teaching and reading, like, in education and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's where my passion currently lies, outside of course, traveling, because, like we said, that's kind of obvious with this podcast.
No, I mean, it's true. It's like, I feel like passion is something that you can't fabricate. Passion is something that you find at your like deepest central point of your being, like it's your soul. It's not something physical necessarily. Like, it comes from the inside out, so you can't fabricate that. And I feel like a lot of times people equate or kind of put their passion on their work of like, oh, well, if I'm doing this as my work, this must be my passion, and kind of like try to feign that. And that ends up being really taxing. So getting to a point where you can either say, yes, my passion and my work align, which is what you're saying, is like, this is, I know where I'm meant to be. Like, you feel that very deeply. And that's incredible. And then there are other people who just like kind of fake it. Like, they just assume what their passion is supposed to be instead of taking the time to actually say, what am I passionate about? What actually makes me feel at my core center in myself? What makes me feel most fulfilled? What makes me feel happiest when I'm talking to other people? What do I seem to like get most excited about? Because those are the types of things that are going to end up telling you what your passion is. It's not going to be a boss that's going to tell you what your passion is. It's not going to be your parent that's going to tell you what your passion is. You have to feel that at your core center. And it's something that takes a long time sometimes to figure out. It's not something that happens overnight, and it changes over time. I hope it doesn't change for you with your teaching. I hope it doesn't, because that's awesome to have not only like a teacher like you in the education system, but then also to have what you do on a daily basis align with that career. But over the course of your life, like, you evolve. And also, I think people try to hold on to their passions when maybe it's time to move on. So just listening to your inner self for like, okay, where am I at? Doing a deep, true, honest analysis. And you can't fake passion. And that goes for relationships too. Like, you can't fake that. It's just, it's a whole thing. I feel like this kind of relates to our article, or no, not article, our podcast from last time too, of like, how does passion intersect with all of the different things that we choose to do and the things that we have to do in our lives, whether it's our career, whether it's what we spend our time outside of our job doing, the travels that we go on, the relationships we build, any of that. How does it influence? And it's a really interesting concept that has, I feel like, it's kind of a buzzword in our society. Passion. It's just, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you've already kind of said this, but it seems like you're forced to find your passion in today's world. Like, if you're not passionate about something, like, something's probably wrong with you, which is not the case at all. Like you said, it takes a while to develop your passion sometimes. And I think, we've talked about social media and the influence it has on us in previous episodes, but I think social media does play a huge impact into thinking you have to be passionate about something, because people are probably faking their passion to get views. And really, that's maybe not what makes them happy, but they know that, doing this silly TikTok dance or whatever is going to get them views, which would then lead to money, which, I mean, I don't blame them. You got to make money somehow. But how real and authentic are they really being about their passions? Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, I hope social media comes on the wheel sometime, because I feel like we would both get just very passionate about that conversation.
Yeah, that could be like an hour-long episode.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, awesome. Are you ready to move on to our next segment?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. Let's inspire some folks, y'all. Well, that seems very full of ourselves, but we try our best, Okay, so I can go ahead and start if that
Let's
works.
hear it. Yep,
all right, awesome.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up the most trending articles on the web on topics you choose at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. The entire web becomes listenable for the first time, all in one place. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling and start listening. You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, tech, business, science, Bitcoin, or even the Kardashians. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud. And the best part, they have podcasts. Explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries. You can even find us there. I started using it as my default podcast app. They even have a digital radio. Download and use Newsly for free now at www.newsly.me or from the link in the description, and use promo code WIVES. That's WIVES. And you can get a 1-month free premium subscription. You can find all this information in our description from this episode. And now back to our episode.
So this one was a pretty easy week, I think, for both of us a little bit too, because as promised, we are going to tell you about our vacations that we went on recently. I spent a few days in Tampa, Florida, and Clearwater, Florida, and then I spent a week in Disney World with my entire family of 13. So I was gone from home for a long time. But it was great to be in the sunshine and everything. And Tampa was it's an incredible city. I loved it so much. It was really, really fun. Had the best latte of my life at a place called The Lab. It was a lavender latte, and you can go really wrong with those pretty easily, but it was amazing. I had dreams about this latte. And some really good food. I love seafood, so shrimp all the time. It was great. Time at the beach, time with Nolan's grandparents. It was really, really fun. And of course, the sun never hurts. Well, it does if you get sunburned, which I did, but aloe helps with that, I guess. But then, yeah, we spent a week in Disney. My family flew in from all corners of the country, and it was really, really fun. There's a new Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster at Disney, and it is ridiculously fun. I don't think I've ever had more fun on a ride in my entire life. It was super fun. So that was really exciting. Got to go on that 3 times, and I wish I could just keep riding it all day. But then I also have a niece and a nephew. Both of them are 1. And them meeting Pluto was the most pure moment of the trip. It was so cute. They just were both so excited, and Pluto was so good with both of them. And it's just to see the magic and the wonder through the eyes of a child is just it's really cute. I got tears in my eyes, and the pictures are adorable, but it was just lots of good food. Disney is a great place for a foodie like me. So it was really, really great to eat our way around the world and just really connect with my family. So I had a really, really great vacation. But I'm really sad to be back, back in New York. Not sad necessarily because home is here and it feels good to be back home and in a routine. But the flight back also, though, it got really delayed and we almost missed our connection in Baltimore, and it was just a whole thing. So it was really stressful trying to get back home. And that was probably the low of the trip, but glad to be back safely. And yeah, can't wait to get on a plane to wherever else I'm going.
That's awesome. I have to ask, were you flying Delta by chance?
No, we were flying Southwest. It was due to weather, so it wasn't their fault, but it was really stressful.
I was going to say, because we were flying Delta there and back, and we've got delayed both times. So it was not weather dependent. It was just delays.
Oh, yeah. On a vacation, I mean, getting there safely is always the end goal, but it's stressful when you're I need to be somewhere and I'm not in that place and I don't know what's happening and you have no control over the situation. That's really stressful.
Yeah, that was not the fun part. But yeah, sounds like your trip was awesome, and it's cool that you still get so excited about Disney since you've been so many times. You get the chance to kind of relive it each time because it's a new experience with new ages, same people, but your nieces and nephews are growing up, or you've got new ones. So that's really exciting that you get to experience it in a new way each time, despite going so many times.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How about you?
Yeah, so my high, I was also in Florida very briefly. We went to Miami because we were going on a cruise, just a 4-day cruise. We were taking Carnival. That's all we've ever taken. And I think this cruise, we decided, this is my like 6th cruise, my husband's first cruise. And we decided, you know what, we want to try a different cruise line next time. It's kind of becoming very repetitive, especially with the entertainment. And I felt like maybe it's just because we were younger, but I felt like there was always so much to do. And we're like, oh my gosh, we don't have enough time to do everything we want to do. And now it's like maybe there's only like 3 things I really want to do the 4 days, and most of which was the comedy, which was wonderful. But I was like, man, I really want to try something else and see if other cruise lines have more entertainment that kind of fits our interests. So yeah, maybe we'll try a different cruise line, but off on that tangent on a whole nother episode maybe. But we've done cruise episodes, so if you want to know all the ins and outs of cruise, we have a 2-part cruise series. But this cruise specifically, we were going to Nassau in the Bahamas and Half Moon Cay or Key, whatever you want to call it. I've heard both ways. It is Carnival's private island, and if you have not seen pictures, go Google it. Unless you're driving in the car listening to this, Google it once you get to a safe place. It is unreal. Regan, have you been to Half Moon Cay?
Oh, yes. It's amazing.
Yeah, the water is, yeah, I'm kind of speechless. I don't even know how to describe it. So blue, so clear, the perfect temperature. There's no like seaweed or other garbage floating around in it. The beach is so clean, the water's so clean. It's amazing. But yeah, I was on a 4-day cruise out of Miami, went to Nassau and Half Moon Cay, and then back to Miami. It was fantastic, and can't wait to go on another cruise, maybe a different cruise line, we'll see. But then my low, I have dogs, and Shakira, my little baby. I do love Marley too, don't worry. But Kira, she came to us first, and I just had more one-on-one time with her, so I'm really close with her. But before we left, like 2 days before we left, she was playing in the backyard like usual, and all of a sudden she wasn't putting weight on one of her back legs, and we're like, oh crap, like what's going on? So we like monitored her. Within 5 to 10 minutes, she was running around like nothing had happened. So we're like, okay, must be fine. We'll just keep watching her. So then we go on vacation, come back, and then a couple days ago, same thing, running in the backyard, and she just wasn't putting weight on that same leg, and it was so weird. So we're like, okay, we're going to the vet. Took her to the vet. They did like Lyme's disease testing, a bunch of other like blood work, whatever. Well, she doesn't have any of that. Apparently she just like pulled a muscle in her leg, thank goodness. But if you have a dog and you've ever had to give them pills, let me just tell you, it is quite the task. So, Mom and Dad, I know I gave you a hard time taking medicine as a kid. I am so sorry. Karma has reached me finally. Kira has been quite creative with ways to spit out the pill. So first we attempted to just like put it in and mix it in with her food, whatever. She took it upon herself to take out little piles of food and sort through them to see if she could find the pill so she could avoid the pill. Yeah, that was the first attempt. We're like, you have got to be kidding me. So then the second time we're like, okay, we'll put it in like a little piece of a cheese stick because she loves cheese. Nope. She found it and spit it out. So that was like another fail. Then the vet was like, oh, put it in whipped cream. Okay, she loves whipped cream, like licks it up super fast. Figure we'll get her. The first time it did work. It did trick her. She licked it up super fast, didn't realize it. Then we have to give it twice a day. And the next time she had to take it, we've actually had to like hold her mouth open and place it on the back of her tongue because she has just found ways to lick around the pill or sort through her food. I'm like, oh my goodness. We have to give this to her for like 2 weeks. So wish me luck. This is only day 3. So
good luck. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's quite the adventure. Thankfully, she's fine. She just has to like take it easy. No, running wild in the backyard. But yeah, it's been quite the adventure to try to get her to take this pill.
Oh my gosh. Wait, does she like peanut butter?
Well, we don't have any peanut butter because Nate's allergic.
Oh, that's
that, so
true. That's right. That's right. Because peanut
yeah.
butter works. Yeah, peanut butter has worked wonders with Remy. And I don't know if it's just because like it's super sticky, so like they can try, but like they actually can't. But oh
Mhm.
yeah, that's not fun.
No.
Oh, poor Kira. I hope she's feeling better soon.
Yeah, she's good. I feel bad for her too because the medicine makes her like drowsy, so she's just kind of like walking around all sleepy. I'm like, it's okay, just go to sleep. You'll be fine.
Oh,
But
yeah, it is crazy, like, just that feeling of helplessness when your pet I mean, I know it's like that with your kids. Right now, we don't have kids, so the dogs are our kids, and it's just like that feeling of helplessness, like, oh, tugs at your heart. Well, I'm glad you had a really great trip, and I wanna try a new cruise line with you, so let's chat.
yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. All right. Well, moving right into our final segment, and we have a very interesting article today. This article comes to us from CNN and CNN Travel, to be specific. And the headline is This man found love and welcomed a baby during 6-year, 8,700-mile hike. 8,700. Like, let that number sink in. Miles. This is crazy. Like, my goodness, this man was on the brink of homelessness, and with $12 in his pocket, he set out on this giant hike through Europe. He started in Wales, and then he was like in Scotland and all over the place, Afghanistan, etc. Along the way, he meets this woman. They fall in love because she has a similar lifestyle of literally just hiking and camping and everything and then they get a dog. Oh wait, they got a dog in the middle of there somewhere. And then they had a baby. They had a baby in a yurt along the way. I just like the dedication is so real. It's so real.
When I read this, first of all, I was like, no way would I ever dedicate 6 years to hiking. So hats off to him. Nor would I want to walk 8,700 miles. I was like joking with Regan when we found this article, like, I'm good with like an hour hike, maybe we make it a mile. That's great. If not, no big deal. I enjoy nature, but to be out there, just living out there, having a baby out there, first of all, I would be petrified. That sounds crazy. Like, I wouldn't, I guess you gotta do what you gotta do, but whew,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It's a lot. And there's also like, I'm so impressed. I'm like, wow, they are not chasing money. They're not chasing like the best car, the biggest house, anything. They are living life in the natural world, which is like honestly where we all started. We all started just living in the natural world, and the things that they're able to see and the places they're able to go that like even with a vehicle you can't get to some of these places. And bringing up a child with that mindset also of just like being immersed and being like symbiotic with nature. And wow, that is such a lucky kid to be able to have access to such gorgeous environments as he's growing up this whole time. That's like, and yeah, again, I say dedication, so much dedication to this. Like, I don't think I could do that, but it's like, I am truly amazed and how this has become such a like a critical lifestyle, and not only just the lifestyle but like the people he's picked up along the way that have like come to mean so much to him, like meeting the love of his life, like she was another hiker just like randomly showed up, and then having this baby, and that's like probably the most impactful thing that will ever happen to them, and a dog, like really creating a family kind of as you go in the wild. That's like, it's amazing, and it's something that like I feel like it's really easy to judge it, but like I don't know, I wish I could be more like that, of like not thinking about, oh well, I'm gonna get this house and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna buy this thing or whatever and I'm gonna look like this. Like, it's just, it's really impressive and humbling almost in a way of just like this choice somewhat out of necessity and also kind of built on passion, it seems too. I mean, it has to be passion. You're hiking 8,700 miles over 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, I love this. I think there's like a lot that we could learn from this. I know, like you said, it's like so quick to judge, like, oh, why would you want to do that? Like, spend so much time in nature and be away from people. But also, like you said, he found people along the way, his wife, or I don't know if they're husband and wife, but I think they are.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the fact that he can be so present in his life. He's not worried about the 16 alarms that he has on his phone for tasks that he has to do for tonight or tomorrow, whatever. He just has to worry about probably finding his next meal, where he's going to sleep for the night, which can be very stressful, I'm sure. But he has probably a lot less stress than the average person. He's not constantly consuming things that are probably negative if it's on social media or the internet or wherever people get their information. So it's kind of something that we can learn from and say, hey, this guy is doing something extreme. We don't need to go that far. But if we take the time to be intentional and spend more time in nature, like you said, where we all came from, I think our mental health would probably improve. Our way of life would be much better. I think we would just be happier individuals overall, whether that be, going camping for the weekend just to start yourself off on, disconnecting and reconnecting with people more. I think it would be a really great experience and something that I could even do myself. I am not perfect in staying off the internet and taking a break from social media. I'm just like most of you. I consume it all of the time, and I have room to learn as well. And I think this article is a great starting point to get some ideas for how we can be human again and just take that time to connect with nature. And I love that his child is, growing up in nature. They are probably going to be so far ahead developmentally, assuming that everything's fine with the child's health, because he's growing up in nature. He's having to be creative with the things out in nature. There's not a tablet telling him what to do. There's, no manufactured toys that are, making him do this or that or whatever. Like, yeah, sure, those are nice in the right time and place. But going back to your roots of nature and counting with leaves or rocks or, playing with sticks, climbing trees, getting to know your body and how to function in nature, I think is going to be so cool for that kid growing up. And yeah, I really love this article.
Yeah. I really like to wrap up. There's the imagery that he uses is like, it's literally a blank piece of paper that they have. And that's really exciting. Like when you have an entire world at your fingertips and nobody is telling you, go this way, go that way. How exhilarating. Like the choices are yours to make. And that's empowering. It's just connecting. I love the notion of being so present. Like you said that. And I think that really sums up what we can really learn from this.
Yeah, this is a really great article. And I think this kind of goes back to our passionate conversation as well. So if you enjoyed this episode, you have something you're passionate about, let us know. Send us an email, comment on our social media, send us a DM. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget, the best gift you can ever give your friends and family is the gift of our podcast. So share the wealth with everyone. Give us a 5-star review. We would love to hear from all of you. And make sure you tune into our Travel Tuesday episodes as well. Thanks for tuning in to the Wanderlusting Lives podcast. Come escape with us again every other Tuesday for Travel Tuesdays and every other Wednesday for Wildcard Wednesdays.
Don't forget to give us a subscribe and a follow on all of our social media and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And until next time, wander on.